being declassified from the human race and then brought down to a lower race that symbolized color. When we talk black, white, mulatto, he did not want us to be classified in these racial categories, but to be elevated back to the human race, where there was only one race, and that was called human. As he said in his famous speech, the Negro finds himself a slave in his own land. That means that, we have been consistently and constantly fighting, whether it be from Frederick Douglass, his writings, whether it be from W.E.B. Du Bois, his writings, John Henry Clark on the African writings, again, Drew Ali speaking about the Moorish history here in the United States of America. These things that were talked about were just reminders of who we were in the past and what our fight has been in this country. We did not want to be called Negro. We did not want to be called a color.
I self-law and or am master. Focus on breath when mind or heart moves faster. Focus on higher when lower self is set tripping. And we'll make up the bed or clean the kitchen. When little voice speaks, inner ears open, listen. Change the world, merge action with vision. Learn through symbolism, numeric metaphysicians. Extraordinarily moving with synchronism. Repetition, rendition, cognition. One with Allah from belief to fruition. Thought ammunition, mental inquisition. Circumstances will do their best once in position. Bliss you instead of bless when a Christian sneezes. Immune system of facts, mass for diseases to the source. We all return, that should be celebrated. From the body plantation, soul release, not regulated. We all fall victim, we're all called Christian, but Islam is our faith, restore all faith. We all fall victim, we're all called Christian, but Islam is our faith, restore all faith. We all fall victim, we all called Christian, but Islam is our faith, restore all faith. We all fall victim, we all called Christian, but Islam is our faith, restore all faith.
Render unto Caesar. I don't need a Constantine, I mean a constant reminder. Sounding like my Sunday school teacher. I learned to discern the divine order. If I don't move my foot, you can't step over. Now you see why Yosh was murdered. Secret orders in the chamber, Asiatic pictures. 7 Ethers or 7 Esters. Fellow children or a child curses scriptures. 69, an infinite number, put it together, you would discover. Finite thoughts that limits each other, there's no boundaries. Jah, Ya Allah is same energy. Different prophets with different remedies. 5 principles, same frequencies. Echo through the halls of Manipri. Don't be mad at me. Islam to the world. Philosophies and principles. You emotional over personals. Divine and national. So let my vine and fig grow. Pass to the Negro. Pass to the Negro. Northgate, H2O flow, Chic, Canaanland Morris, Release Fall, Shalon Davis, salute, house, check it. They say they wanna learn, they only debate. Referencing the truth, trust me, they only sound great. Study nationality before you question my estate. I'm not a minority, why you so late? Majority rules, here comes the test. Fact, that's my hand in the form of a V on the chest. That's a womb that is blessed like a moon and a crest. Major forever, infinite mindset. Major from birth, that's a seed in process. I'm a more that is easy to digest. Competent, never Terranilian. That is my land, never vacant. Sacred traditions, petitions for what you're not Jamaican. Westmoreland to Portmore, everybody needs more. We feel please more. Following the apostle, we should read more. I see the unseen more, we more. That's a fact. Canaanland.
wanna learn, complain classes are too long. Don't want it on a phone call, energy too strong. Get it from the wrong source, now they way off course. Think they must be Muslim and give up on all sports. Should give up the red meat, must give up on all porks. Won't be yelling haram when the bottles are uncorked. Eating with the spoon, use forks for tuning. Eating humble pie, no ego ballooning. Samson 2 caterpillars, got him cocooning. As the full moon hung, spiral energy moving. Up through the crown chakra, energy shooting. And told me upload classes before live YouTubing. 16,000 subscribers, 20% consuming. 80% troll pretending to be tuned in. Comment on every video, pushing the thumbs down. We'll push the link when we live just like a clown. Pouring in the incompetence, always debating. Dissing Drew Ali but won't give their location. His image on the black banner, that's placation. Just get him out of here, Yusuf yells in frustration. We know they're playing games, we're not berating. Calling 911, scimitars penetrating. In defense of prophets and mothers abused. And newly awakened Moors, amused and confused.
My daughter's laugh. This have to stop. So I was coming from school one afternoon. I was sitting in a taxi waiting on the taxi to load up. I was there sitting. I saw a young man rushing towards the taxi. He then came in the taxi and sit down. I saw 2 police officers coming shortly after, asking the passenger what aboarded the taxi to remove himself from the taxi. He did not comply, so one of the police officers came on and draped him. After draping the man punched the police officer in his face. They were there quarreling, and the other policeman came around there and said, okay, you know, come out of the taxi and you go get something. To come out of the taxi, remove his pepper spray, and he sprayed it in the car. I was there sitting down, a lady was there breastfeeding in the taxi. The policeman behaved as if he did not care about what he had done. So I came out. I was angry because I was there observing the protocols, having on my mask and everything, and you came there just to remove one occupant and you pepper spray in the whole car. So I was there, I had to remove my mask because I was not breathing properly. Having on a mask and being pepper sprayed, you can't breathe properly. I was there hyperventilating. And I removed my mask. I was so upset because of the situation. So the policeman claimed that I had disrespected him. And he behaved as if he did not do anything wrong. So I was there. They said they were going to arrest me for not wearing a mask. I was brought to the police station. I was told that I was charged for not observing COVID-19 protocols, not wearing a mask. On the day of court, I arrived at court. My name card, I went in. I was told that I wasn't charged for a mask. I was charged for disorderly conduct. I was there. I explained to the judge what had transpired. They did not explain to me properly what was going to take place. They did not explain to me that I could pay the fine of $6,000. I only heard when he said 10 days in the lockup. So one of the police officers escorted me downstairs where I would be waiting for the police officer to come and transport me to the station. On arrival at the 4 Pass police station, I was sitting on a bench. I was then asked to go in the bathroom to stand up. I was asked to go into the bathroom. I was there when the Miss Mitchell, Corporal Mitchell, had led me to the bathroom. She had a scissors in her hand. I did not know what was her intention, but I was there standing in the bathroom, complying with rules and whatever they said. I was there and she said, pull out your ear, loosen your hair, young lady. And I was there. At first, I didn't comply with loosening my hair. And I was still standing there. She said, young lady, you know, hear me say to remove the school shoe from your hair. I then removed my hair. She started cutting my hair. After cutting my hair once, the scissors that she was using did not cut my hair properly. So she called for another scissors. So she cut my hair twice. Because after she used that first those scissors, my hair never cut as how she wanted or whatever. But she used another scissors to cut my hair. I then bend down and take up some of the hair and I had it in my hand. I was there and then she put me in the cell in lockup. I was in lockup from Thursday night. I was on my menstruation. I couldn't change my clothes. I couldn't change my sanitary napkin. I couldn't bathe. I got nothing to eat. On Friday, my mother came. On Thursday, I got locked up. Friday, my mother came with snack, water, and stuff. They denied my mother. They did not take that visit. They denied the visit.
They took the stuff, but they didn't take the food from her.
They did not take the food from my mother. They only took the clothing. From Thursday night, I did not eat. On Sunday, my mother said she brought some dinner because Sunday is the official visiting day. They did not give me that food until 6 o'clock in the evening. When I got the food was sour. I couldn't eat the food because the food had closed up with the vegetable and everything on it. So I couldn't eat the food because the food was sour. I was there so stressed out, traumatized. A current situation had happened to me and that still had impacts on me. And in the lockup, I can't get anybody to talk to. I was in the lockup. On Monday, my mother came and my mother paid the $6,000 and I was released from lockup.
Surprisingly, on Monday when I went for her, only to see they brought a little girl to me without no locks on her head. Because believe me, I couldn't even identify my daughter at the time when I saw her. Because I was saying that why the police are taking so long to bring her out after I had brought the receipt to them saying that I paid the fine. And when the policewoman tell me that it's my daughter, I almost pass out. And me asked her, I said, warm to your locks, where your locks there? She said, one policewoman trim her. I said, where the policewoman the name, where she come from? She said, one policewoman named Corporal Mitchell. Trim her. So, you know, me don't like some answers. Me don't like to know the reason why she trimmed my daughter locks. Why was her locks trimmed? What was the reason for that? What she do? Apart from you saying that she was behaving outrageous, apart from the outrageous behavior, what caused it? What was the reason for you to trim my daughter's locks? This have to stop. It need to stop and it have to stop. And this is going to be the last Rasta one over trimming in Jamaica. Remember.
Don't say I never told y'all. Don't say that we never told y'all. Don't say that you weren't told and warned. You were told and warned. And yeah, they shouldn't do that to the sister and all that stuff, but I'm not concerned about this European. I'm not concerned about the operatives of the European. I'm looking at our people. The hell's wrong with them? The hell's wrong with them? They're claiming Rasta, right? Remember, been told them. Came out of the Rasta school of thought. Purposely. The first book was Nationality, the Order of the Day. The divine message and warning to all Garveyites, all Rastafarians, all black nationalists, and all Pan-Africans. Now, since this book, have you seen madness happening to all these different people? People call themselves Garveyite, Rastafarians, black nationalists, and all them. You see BS happening to them, right? Regular. Because they didn't heed the divine message and warning that was given to them by their fellow brother who was a Garveyite. their fellow brother who was a Rastafarian, who was a black nationalist, who was a Pan-African. I know we're not Garveyite. We're not Garveyite. We honor Marcus Garvey. He's a forerunner of the Moorish movement. We ain't no Garveyites. What's a Garveyite? What's that? That's not real. That's a fiction. I found out that's a fiction because I can't be pro-Pan-African and be called Garvey. It's a European name. So made the transition from all the black whatever to more, and wrote a book about it, tying all the different schools of thought, black, Garveyite, Rastafarian, whoever's together. Tying it all together to show how we could be one. How could we be one? Have a nationality. But they're not going to hear what Cujo's saying. So, you want to know why this stuff happened? Why they held her down and cut off all her locks? You don't want to know why they cut her antennas off? You know why they scalped her? They scalped her because she's Indian. She's not Jamaican. She's Aboriginal, Indigenous Moor. That's why they scalped her. And all Rastas who want to play all that stuff, that's why they scalped them. Because it didn't come from Africa. Do you ever hear some African people scalping somebody? Oh no, you only hear the indigenous people doing that to these traders. And these colonists violating their women and children. Scalp them. Even Supercat told you scalp them and hang them high. You rep for Rasta stuff and all that? Just go pull up Supercat, scalp them, and go listen to that. So they didn't heed the warning, so now they're paying for it. You can get in your little bag and tell me about sister shouldn't have been, they did that to the sister. I don't want to hear none of that. Zero. Because I already came from that BS and I wrote the book and told you. Forget that Rasta BS. It's BS. Just like Dr. Ben, the Moorish PhD, told these Rastas right here in this city, right here when he was here. Did a lecture here. And Rastas wanted to kick his ass. And people had to hold back Rastas from kicking Dr. Ben's ass. They're not going to tell you about those ones. Go ask the people who made Dr. Ben come here in the 90s. Ask them what did Dr. Ben say that made the Rastafarians want to kick his ass and people had to hold them back from kicking Dr. Ben's ass. Because he went up there to these Rastafarians' face and told them, I'm Ethiopian. I'm Ethiopian. And Haile Selassie is dead as a dog. Don't tell me any BS about he's God and all that BS. And they wanted to kick his ass. Dr. Ben told them. Right? Go ask him. You know, that was big news in the Rastafarian community. Dr. Ben told these guys to their face that Haile Selassie is dead. What are you talking about? Some guy is God. That everybody knows him. He was a guy. Like, what are you talking about? Oh yeah, we know he's king and Lord of Lords and all that. We know all that. We're Ethiopian. We know it's Abyssinia. We know Ethiopia is some Greek BS. We know we're ancient Kushite. Dr. Ben. We told them to their face. Not out of disrespect, out of use your common sense. Why use your common sense? So the Rastafarians are never going to tell you about the Black Supremacy pamphlet. The ones who are in the know, at least. Because the ones who are in the know already know that Emmanuel I told them in the Black Supremacy pamphlet what's up. He told them what's up. Let's see what he told them. Because they don't want to listen to their brother Kudro. Maybe they'll listen to the Christ. Maybe they'll listen to the Christ, Prince Emmanuel. Who all these Rastafarian people and whatever, whether they wear a turban or don't wear a turban and all that stuff, playing all that BS. All that separation BS. As if it's about locks or something like that. It's about locks. Hair grows back. And if hair doesn't grow back, what does hair have to do with your heart? What the hell are you talking about? Everybody who's a true Rasta knows it's all about heart. You know, there's Europeans with locks down to the floor for. Because they're European, they can't do that? No, because Rasta's about heart. You know, because you have some locks, that means you're a Rasta. That's incompetent people thinking. People who really don't know what this is about. People who really don't know what this is about, they'll see somebody without a beard and without a mustache and no locks and hear them say Rastafari, and they'll tell them they're imposter because they don't have locks and where's their beard. When Rasta's about heart. But when you get into the political side of Rasta, what is this stuff really about? That they're not telling people because this stuff is inside of the tabernacle. In the Black Supremacy pamphlet. That all the high priests of the Rastafarian order of Bobo Shanti, they know what the Black Supremacy pamphlet is. Don't worry about how I got mine. Just know I know Rastas who are Moors. And they know that they're Moors. And they're going to come into me for me to witness their documents. And they're talking about Ellen Bay and all that stuff, but they're Rasta. So I don't know what any people are talking about, that you don't know you're Rasta and you don't know what's up. I don't know what the hell's wrong with you. Because Rastas I know, they know about nationality and birthrights. They know that they're Moors. They're not Maroons. They're not Jamaicans and all that BS. They're Moors. Because why? Because when they were growing up, there's a Port Moore in Jamaica. And then there's a Port Moore in Jamaica. Why is there a Port Moore there? Why is there a Westmoreland there? Why is this there? And how come nobody never told us that Moors were here? If the place is named after Moors, this is the Rastafarians talking. If the place is named after Moors, then Moors would probably have to be here. Well, let's see what the Black Supremacy pamphlet has to say. The conquering lion shall break every chain. Ethiopia, royal nation, wealth, kingdom. Ethiopia, Africa, Black International Congress. I, the Right Honorable Prince Emmanuel Charles Edwards, the Lord's servant. Spiritual documents of salvation to world heads of governments. The UN to be obedient to the word of right for equality and justice. If you cannot deal with the right, you could call for the man of right to do so. And these rights would cover freedom, redemption, repatriation, universally and internationally. All nations to repatriate, to leave the next man's country and return to his country of his birthright. Article 15, Human Rights Charter. Article 15, Human Rights Charter. Okay, so Article 15, Human Rights Charter. Everyone has the right to a nationality. No one shall be arbitrarily deprived of his nationality or denied the right to change his nationality. How come you're not hearing Rastas talking about nationality like Moors do? How come they keep sending you back to Africa BS when Charles Edwards, the Right Honorable Prince Emmanuel Charles Edwards, telling all these Rastafarians what's up? Come they're not telling? I, the Lord's servant, says everyone is to find back their own vine and fig tree, our nationality. Why is Rastas head guy talking about nationality, and all these Rastas that you see today are only telling you about Haile Selassie, this and that, and they're not telling you about nationality? Right? And don't forget that over here is not all those other places that you might have been to get this info and all that stuff. So there's protocol. Read the pinned comment right there. Got questions? Ask in all caps. It's right there for everybody to see. So when your question doesn't get answered because it's not in all caps, don't say that was on the Moors thing and they didn't answer the question because, and that means that, no. Let me try that BS. You didn't read the caption. How do we begin to reclaim our rightful nationality? You better know what nationality is before you claim that. You better know what reclaim is before you claim it. You better know what rights are before you even start talking about reclaiming something. And then if you got past the level of knowing what nationality is and knowing what rights are and knowing what reclamation is, then you wouldn't even be asking that question. Because that's how real it is. This is not advanced. If you go out there, you see a guy driving a backhoe or something like that, you're not just jumping up in it and talking about you're going to go do something. You're not. Unless you have previous knowledge of how to use that, you won't do that. So the same thing with this. You're not going to go try some stuff because you heard somebody on YouTube and IG say that they went to court and they said whatever. And the judge did a backflip out of the court, so that means it's dismissed. So it starts with knowing what nationality is. And that alone should have you in about 4 months of study. That usually you have any questions for at least 4 months. Just looking up nationality and researching that. Now forget what that Moor over there said that has the Bentley. Forget that Moor over there that has the Beamer. Forget that Moor over there that's telling you $15,000 for a package. Forget that Moor over there that filed some papers. Just, you don't have to use Google. .go or whatever it is. You know, you're scared of Google or whatever like that. Then fine. Find some other search engine and look up nationality. And study nationality. See what it is. Just like you're going to go study art. You're not walking in on the first day because you're Picasso and think you're getting bumped to finals. No. You know, go through the ringer just like everybody else up in here. And that's the reality. Any other answer that anybody else gives you, then you go talk to them. Because that's the answer to your question. That's the answer to the question. Like you said, got any questions, just put it in the chat.
It's devastating because Nzinga is on a path of recovery from a very traumatic experience when she was 16 years old. She was gang raped, she was pregnant, she carried that pregnancy to term, and the baby died shortly after the baby was born. And that was a particularly difficult period for Nzinga. But we worked through it, she worked through it, and she came out on top of it. And then now she's in nursing school and trying to now reshape her life. And then for this to happen at the hands of the state, at the hands of the police who she should trust to help to protect her.
Why they trusting police in Jamaica for? They ain't just start cutting Ras locks just because of her. You ain't know what police did to Peter Tosh? You don't know? Isn't that before her? If that's before her, why are you trusting them? If there's a track record, right? Because forget all that placation about they love reggae music and all this crap, right? Clean-hearted people, majority of them are the ones who are popular in reggae music. Clean-hearted people. And everybody knows the clean-hearted people are the Rastas. Whether they got locks or not. You're going to hear them say Ja Rastafari on their album. Because in their heart, they're Rasta. And they already know that these people are criminals. Which is why Prince Emmanuel gave them the Black Supremacy pamphlet so that they can get out of the dead status and get a nationality. But do they want to listen to him? No, they're not listening to him. They want to talk about complaining about some police did something to some Rastas when remedies in their hand right now that they're not using. Who's that on? The people who's violating them? If you think it's on the people who violated them and not about all the Rastas who abandoned this little mother and didn't teach her about her nationality, when we have the stuff right here, go ask any of the Rastas, they'll tell you. Stop the BS. And just like we're going to show you pictures of the NOI and they know, and show you a picture of the Hebrews and they know, and show you a picture of the ancient Kemetic people and they know, and show you a picture of the gods of the universe and they know. Everybody knows that we're Moors. Everybody's been told. Everybody has the lessons. What do you mean they don't have the lessons? If he's talking like this, every man is free to claim their nationality with free transport out of your office that we could be justified out of your cabinet. This Congress holds no representative. I am the representative and founder, leader, president. I am looking for freedom of movement, freedom of traveling out of the Congress from 1965 under United Nations Charter, free men under Universal Declaration of Human Rights, Civil Rights, Bill of Rights, in equality and justice for all people. He's sending like that, letters like that, talking like that to the Queen. And then all you could tell me about Queen kissing, Pope kissing somebody's ring, queen kissing somebody's ring, and you're not talking about nationality? You're not talking about the foundation that is in the literature that the Rastafarians have in their possession right now? The same remedy that Moors are telling you to get on? But they're not telling you about this. They're going to tell you about everything else except Charles Edwards, Prince Emmanuel, telling these Rastas, the Lord stands for all people, for equal justice. The Universal Declaration of Human Rights Charter, Article 17, 15, 4, 13. Show these principles of right, sir. There are no laws in Jamaica. The only law is Kingston Street Andrew law of crime and brutality. What are you telling me about you surprised that they did this? What do you mean you're surprised they did this? What do you mean how could they do this to her? What do you mean? Charles Edwards told these people there is no law in Jamaica. There's no law in Jamaica. The only law is Kingston St. Andrew law of crime and brutality. That is why this country runs like this, without protection. You tell me he's not giving them all the keys for them to free themselves? But no, they don't want to free themselves. They want to parade around playing drummer boy. And just beat the drum and just chant to the high heavens, and sisters getting locks cut. All that drum beating, no ancestors came down on these people yet? You telling me that everybody knows that our ancestors used the drum to call the spirits? The drum was a big deal in our ancient culture. The drum wasn't put by the side. So you're telling me, as the African whatever found yourself, and we got the turbans and the jalabiyas and the stuff, we look like, some Moorish high priest of Anu and all that stuff. We're playing Rasta. All right, cool. All this Rasta stuff, this drum beating and all this stuff, which is ancestral stuff, it's not some modern thing, right? Making sure you wear the right colors on the right day and all these rituals and all that stuff, and she's still getting her locks cut. And then you're talking about they did something. You've been knowing that they do stuff. This is not something new. You'd be surprised that they violated the mother. Why are you surprised that they violated her? How naive are you that you're going to sit there and think that people who are in authority are legit and they're going to do something right one day when they've never done anything right? Only thing they did right is violate you. With perfection, they violate our people. Right? So how is she, as a Rasta Empress, supposed to feel about the Rastas? She gets violated and they're yelling stuff and beating drums before they use their Black Supremacy pamphlet and get down what the Moors been telling these people. They don't want to hear what we're saying. They're not concerned with what Moors are saying. Fine, no problem. Then keep suffering. That's just what it is. Unfortunately, it's a little mother. And that's the example. Because it should be one of you hardback people. It shouldn't be her. Because she just went through stuff. And then she's going through stuff again? And then nobody's not slapping the parents yet? No one? Everybody's looking at the police did something? Oh yeah? Oh, only the police are to blame, huh? Nobody in the community that didn't even stop. How's she get in the position to be gang raped in the first place? Who dropped the ball there? Forget her, she got her locks cut. Because obviously, she had locks when she was gang raped. So who gang raped her? Oh, but you don't want to talk, oh, that's the past. We don't want to talk about that. Oh, that's old stuff. We're not gonna dig up the dead. But we're gonna talk about these highwaymen over here who cut her locks off. But you're not gonna talk about who took her femininity. You're gonna use that to say how she's traumatized. She's going through trauma again. Why are they doing this to her? No, who were these gang rapists? And we better not hear that any of them are Rastafarian either. Better be some police who raped her or something like that. Look at her on her mom's lap. Look at her on her mom's lap. She's an infant. You tell me about 19 and all that stuff, and she got locked since she was born and all that stuff. She ain't no 19. Right? She ain't no 19. She's an infant. And the issue of her getting locks cut, because of some police violating Rastafarians, because no, you don't have the right, because Black Supremacy pamphlet told y'all about nationality and UN declarations. You didn't want none of that. You didn't want that. You didn't want UN drip. Right? Article 12. Indigenous people have the right to manifest, practice, develop, and teach their spiritual and religious tradition. Isn't Locke's religious tradition? Not religious tradition? Customs, ceremonies, the right to maintain, protect, have access in privacy to their religious and cultural sites, the right to use and control their own ceremonial objects. Aren't locks a ceremonial object? Aren't locks revered throughout the world? Isn't natural hair antennas to the universal messages that you can receive? Right. Article 13. Indigenous people have the right to revitalize, use, develop, and transmit to future generations their histories, languages, oral traditions, philosophies, writing systems, and literatures, and to designate and retain their own names for their communities, places, and persons. Didn't her parents name her Nzinga? Isn't Nzinga the warrior mother? Oh, so what do you think they did by scalping her? You think they don't know what they did? And peep this one. If you're saying, because people who can't see the chat, if you're saying that Sizzla, who's Rasta, wears turban and all that, is saying that she has nothing to do with them because she's not their kind of Rasta, that's the same thing as these traders telling you they have nothing to do with Rise of the Moors. And those Moors are over there, and we're these temple Moors over here, and we honor the Prophet and they don't. It's the exact same thing. And again, we're coming to you from the Rastafarian stuff. We're not coming to you from our stuff. We're letting you know that these people know what's up, and they never told you about the Black Supremacy pamphlet if you're calling yourself Rasta. And if you do, and you're not riding with Moors and nationality, then you're probably a traitor. Trying to keep this black stuff alive again. United Nations Week starts from October 24th, 1978. Jamaica is not yet started human rights for the poor and have-nots. All documents that pass through all the heads of government should bring forth equality and justice and work upon these rights from Article 1 to 15. The hell are you talking about? They don't know what's up. What is this black stuff you talking about? You know, black nationality. Honorable Mr. Mahler said it was common practice for heads of government to place themselves above the law. I asked if he would name me one nation that upheld the UN Declaration of Human Rights. He could not name one. I can. Keep playing. The worst is yet to come. Do you think scalping her is something? The worst is yet to come. Remember, all this is the Rastafarian Black Supremacy pamphlet. Human rights is right of freedom of speech, freedom of movement, freedom of traveling. Rum is a thing that cuts the heartstring, and yet it is legalized and licensed. Therefore, herb should be legalized and licensed and freed also in the law of equality and justice, and not the law of injustice. The first world of all people was the world of equality and justice before the unjust world took over. Through human rights internationally, peace and love, freedom of speech, freedom of expression, Articles 1 to 15, all the brethren of Zion Hill know that is right. We are dealing to go to Africa. Only right can stand, for righteousness is mightier than sin. The black God liveth, the black Christ liveth. Only God, only divine people is on the hill. All who cannot born again have to leave off the hill. Theocratic government. All free men should stand in one unity of divine salvation and redemption universally, internationally. This nation of us is a black sovereign nation at home and abroad. See why this stuff fails? Right? They're talking about nationality, good and fine. And then now, they're a black supreme God nation. Kill their whole argument. Which is why they're going to hold you down and cut your locks. Because you're still their ward. I, Prince Emmanuel, would like to say free equality and justice for we the people with Article 15. What's Article 15? Right to a nationality article. And your nationality can't be black because black ain't no nationality. Stop the BS. Right, now check this. Check this. Give thanks for being black. Give thanks for a black Christmas. January 7th. Who told you Christmas is on January 8th? Who told you Moors let that be your Christmas? Let my birthday be your Christmas. What's the Rastas doing? January 7th is their black Christmas. Let me tell you about some Ethiopia calendar or whatever. No. Let me tell you some maroon whatever. No. It's all because everybody's jacking Drew Ali's currency. And he told you that you're only going to make it through by connecting to what I established. No Drew Ali brought nationality. All these Rastas got it in their Black Supremacy pamphlet. Did they want it? No, because
it is really very devastating for us. And, you know, I tell her today, she's a strong girl, she's a lioness. You know, we believe in her. And everything in life must happen for a reason. Because maybe this is the thing now to propel for us to be able to highlight that this kind of behavior by our state cannot continue. Our police cannot continue to abuse people like this. They cannot abuse Rasta like this. You understand? Rastafarians have done so much for this country, Rastafarianism, in terms of even our own exposure, putting us on the map. For us at this stage of life, at this stage of enlightenment, to have this kind of abuse of a religious symbol of a person, a part of that person's identity, is unbelievable for me. And we have to take it very serious. It's not the first time. It's the second incident in 1 year, actually almost 1 year to the day. Last year, a young Rastafarian child was not allowed to be enrolled in primary school because she had locks. Now they've taken it to the absolute extreme to cut off a young lady's locks, cut off a part of her identity, cut off a part of her religion in the name of, disorderly conduct, that they are trying to, as her mother would say, instill discipline. This is not instilling discipline. This is instilling...
That's all this is instilling. Christian black codes. Because the people are claiming things that delude to slavery. And if you claim to be something that deludes to slavery, then you're volunteering for all the mistreatments and abuses that you get, unfortunately. It's a hard price to pay. Learn the truth about your nationality and birthrights. I will tell you again. Go get the book. KhalifaMedia.com. If you're a Rastafarian, Garveyite, Black nationalist, and Pan-African, get the book. Just get the book. just so you can get a perspective from a Moor. Because it doesn't seem like anybody else wants to, you know, put you on game. Looks like everybody wants to just play you. That's all they want to do. Play you. Don't let them play you. Study, study, study. Show yourself approved to yourself. Honors to all the Moors worldwide. Oh yeah, there they go, hammering in the truth. We can't make this up. You can't.
And being declassified from the human race and then brought down to a lower race that symbolized color. When we talk black, white, mulatto, he did not want us to be classified in these racial categories, but to be elevated back to the human race, where there was only one race, and that was called human. As he said in his famous speech, the Negro finds himself a slave in his own land. That means that, you know, we have been consistently and constantly fighting, whether it be from Frederick Douglass, his writings, whether it be from W.E.B. Du Bois, his writings, John Henry Clark on the African writings, again, Drew Ali speaking about the Moorish history here in the United States of America. You know, these things that were talked about were just reminders of who we were in the past and what our fight has been in this country. We did not want to be called Negro. We did not want to be called a color.
I, self-law and or am master. Focus on breath when mind or heart moves faster. Focus on higher when lower self is set tripping. And we'll make up the bed or clean the kitchen. When little voice speaks, inner ears open, listen. Change the world, merge action with vision. Learn through symbolism, numeric metaphysicians. Extraordinarily moving with synchronism. Repetition, rendition, cognition. One with Allah from belief to fruition. Thought ammunition, mental inquisition. Circumstances will do their best once in position. Bliss you instead of bless when a Christian sneezes. Immune system of facts, mass for diseases to the source. We all return, that should be celebrated. From the body plantation, so released, not regulated. We all fall victim, we're all called Christian, but Islam is our faith, restore all faith. We all fall victim, we're all called Christian, but Islam is our faith, restore all faith. We all fall victim, we all called Christian, but Islam is our faith, restore all faith. We all fall victim, we all called Christian, but Islam is our faith, restore all faith.
Render unto Caesar. I don't need a Constantine, I mean a constant reminder. Sounding like my Sunday school teacher. I learned to discern in divine order. If I don't move my foot, you can't step over.